Hello world. So today I'm going to vlog about what makes London amazing. My time here is coming to an end. I've been here about 2 years and I thought I would share from a Canadian perspective what makes living or visiting London so fantastic. So my first thing is the multiculturalism and the diversity here. I have never visited anywhere else in the world that's so diverse. You can walk down the street and see people from everyone will be from a different nationality, a different background, a different culture. You can be on the underground and in your carriage, you can hear maybe 15 different languages and every single person will be from somewhere else. So, I mean, there's loads of people from Africa here, loads of people from the Middle East, loads of North Americans, loads of Eastern Europeans, South Africans, other people from other places in Africa. Aussies are here. Um, it's so diverse, and you hear so many people, different people speaking in their different languages. Like, you be on the tube and you can hear Russian, French, Spanish. You can hear American accents. You can hear different African languages that I don't know. It's so diverse and so culturally rich, and you can get any kind of food here. You can find any kind of community that you're from here. There's meetup groups for every single nationality. It's so amazing how diverse it is here. It's like nothing I've ever experienced anywhere else in the world. So that's what's really cool. I think the coolest thing about London is how diverse it is and how many different people you meet. Like, in my office, we have an Australian, a Canadian, a Nigerian, a Greek person, and a British person. And so we're all from different countries, and that's really, really common here in London, that you work and live with people from all over the world, and it's really, really cool. And I didn't experience that in Canada. Most people I went to school with or worked with were born in Canada, whereas here that's not the case. The second thing that I think is really cool about London compared to North America, Canada in particular, is the fashion. People here, girls in particular, but males as well, are so fashionable. They're so put together. Women here, my friends that are British, they don't even wear jeans. They're always so put together in dresses and they look so nice. And even the guys, like, really look nice when they go out to pubs. I mean, they don't wear jeans, they wear nice shoes. Um, People really take care of themselves here and really look good. Whereas in where I'm from, everyone kind of just wears jeans and looks like they're going out camping, to live in the woods. I was kind of seen at home as a bit high maintenance, but here I'm seen as really, really low maintenance and unfashionable. People here look so good and so nice and really put in a lot of effort. So that's really cool and really different from Canada. And the socializing here is fantastic as well. I mean, everybody goes out, well, that I've experienced, or more people go out here after work, they socialize on the weekend. There's a really big pub culture here. It's all about the pubs. Like in my neighborhood where I'm living, there's two or three different pubs I've went to already with my housemates, and they're really cool and trendy. Whereas in Canada, the pubs are kind of scuzzy and nobody goes there. We kind of go out for coffee in Tim Hortons or Starbucks. So the nightlife here is so much better. Everybody goes to the pub. There's cute pubs everywhere, historical pubs, and then also big clubs that I haven't really went to, but I know there is big clubs as well. So the nightlife here is fantastic compared to Vancouver or other places in Canada, maybe minus Montreal, which has good nightlife as well. Um, Let me just see what my next one on my list here is. Oh, I think this might be the best one. You get 5 weeks standard holiday here for any job. So you work in a coffee shop, you get 5 weeks. Whereas back home in North America, it's a measly 2 weeks. What are you going to do in 2 weeks in North America? So, in my experience, people here They go on 5 different European holidays in a year. They jump over to France, which is an hour away. They go to Italy. They go to Greece. They go to Marrakesh. They go to Egypt. Everything is so much closer. It's amazing. So I've been lucky in my last 2 years over here. I've been to Greece and Italy and Spain, and I'm going to go to Turkey and hopefully back to Portugal and France and Ireland. You can just jump on a train and be in France in an hour. It's fantastic. Or you jump on a plane and you're in Ireland in an hour. Or you jump on a plane and you're in Turkey in 3 hours. The annual leave and the traveling here is valued so much more than in Canada. I mean, in Canada, people have 2 weeks off and they might just sit at home or maybe go to Mexico. So the London way of valuing traveling and having all that time off is one of the best things about living in London is you can travel around and see a lot of other places in Europe. Another great thing about living or visiting London is the train systems and the tube systems. You can get anywhere in London and the train comes every 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes compared to like the SkyTrain in Vancouver, or if you even have public transport in your town, because a lot of Canadians' town don't even have public transport. I mean, this is amazing. You can get from one side of London to the other in 45 minutes. You can catch a national train and be in Scotland, I don't know, in 4 hours. I'm going, pretty much across the country this weekend, and it's going to take me 2 hours. It's amazing. And these national trains come every 30 minutes. The public transport here is phenomenal. The infrastructure is phenomenal. British people complain about it all the time, but compared to North America, the public transport here is amazing. And if you're a tourist coming here, you can get around so easily. The system is so easy. You get a card, you put money on it, and you just travel around London. It's really fun, and it's an amazing system. Another really cool thing about living here or visiting is the history. So in North America, there isn't much history. I think it's about 200 years of history. Basically, French and British people came over. We tried to kill the native Aboriginal people, and that's about it. Whereas here, the history goes back, I think, almost 1,000 years. You can just walk around any kind of, they call it borough here. It's like the neighborhood. Neighborhoods in London are separated into boroughs. And you can see plaques on houses that say people lived here, like Shakespeare lived here, and there'll be a plaque on the house. And you can just walk around the streets of London and read these write-ups of the history that go back hundreds and hundreds of years. It's so cool. And there's, the castles here, like Tower Hill and even Tower Bridge has an amazing history, and the monument has an amazing history. There's so much history, and I feel like I've been here 2 years and I've barely just touched on the history of London and in England. It's so fascinating and so interesting and so complex compared to North American history, and that's really, really cool. Another great thing that I've always loved about London, even before I lived here when I was just visiting, is the shopping. Everything here is so much cooler than in Canada, maybe minus Montreal, because Montreal is quite cool and European. But the first time I came here, when I visited Oxford Street, which is like the main big street in London, to visit all the shopping and the shops, it's phenomenal. It gets really crowded, but it's amazing, and everything seems so fashionable to a North American when you come here, because it's so cool and advanced and shiny and fantastic. The shopping here is amazing. If you come here, go to Oxford Street, go to Regent Street. It's an amazing experience. The next thing is the British people in general. They're so Nice. They're so kind and so polite and so nice. I really thought naively, being a Canadian, that Canadians were, the nicest nationality, we're so polite. But British people are so nice. It's really crowded here, so you run into someone. So if I bump into someone, often they'll say sorry to me. Everybody's always saying sorry, 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 sorry. You know, they will ask in a way that's so polite. They will always say, like, thank you. They talk a bit quietly, but actually it can be really, really nice. Like on the tube, even though there's, all these different people talking, everybody's really quiet and polite. And British people are just so pleasant and so get on with things. They don't sweat the small stuff. It's like a stiff upper lip, and you just get on with it in a nice way. They're really, really lovely people. And I think just as nice and polite as that Canadian reputation. So nice. Another really cool thing about London is the architecture. So, the history goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. So you have these old buildings that look Renaissanceian, that's probably not a word, and there'll be big statues on them and they'll look so old. But then beside it, you have brand new developments, like something like the Shard, which is this big, huge glass building in London that's just went up. And I think it's one of the tallest buildings down the world, maybe besides Dubai. So you have these old brick, phenomenal buildings with these statues on them, and then contrast against the brand new modern buildings. And it's so neat to walk around like central London and see that old clash with that new. It's really, really cool. And then another thing onto food is one of the best things about, I think, England in general is clotted cream. So clotted cream is this kind of whipped up butter slash whipping cream that's kind of like a fancy traditional thing to eat with crumpets and tea. I think they're called crumpets. They're like a white biscuit, and you put on the clotted cream, which is this whipped up whipping cream butter, and it's so bad for you, but it's so good. It's one of the best things about England is clotted cream. And on food, I think another great thing about England in general is their biscuits, which we would call cookies. They're so into their biscuits, and they have so many biscuits, and they're all about eating the biscuits. It's amazing. So, like, hobnobs are so good, and they have loads and loads of different brands, and they're delicious. Whereas in North America, I don't know, maybe we have Oreos, and that's the only kind of cookie you can buy in the store. Here they have loads and loads of different kinds of cookies, which they call biscuits, and it's so delicious. So those are my favorite things about living and visiting London from a Canadian perspective. Thanks for watching. Bye.